Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
pledge
allegiance
to the flag
of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me. Call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Take your roll call, please.
Michael Cashman,
Present.
Thomas Wood,
Here.
Barbara Hebert,
Here.
Charles Costick,
Here.
Dana Isabella,
Here.
James Coffey,
Here.
and I, Katie Flucci, present.
Before we begin tonight's hybrid meeting, I did want to take a moment, a silence, in honor of John Zerlo, who has been Clinton County's longest serving county clerk. And it is my understanding that Arnie Amell, who came right before him at the time, was the longest county clerk serving in New York State. And I believe John may actually hold that title as well. I'm not sure. But John has been a beloved public servant in the community, professional, caring, heartwarming. Actually, I personally remember he was among one of the very first people to call and congratulate me as the newly elected town supervisor. And I also know that Mike is a resident of the town of Plattsburgh, and just the heart goes out to the entire family. So if you join me in a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Tonight, again, is a hybrid meeting, a work session, along with some active resolutions, given the fact that we're coming towards the conclusion of the year. Is there anyone seeking public comment this evening? Seeing none, we'll advance. Don't have too much to share, other than that we're just wrapping up the end of the year. So push forward with the active resolutions. Resolution 288, the transition of assessing services to Clinton County.
Whereas the town board of the town of Plattsburgh has carefully examined the needs of the township and has reviewed various service options and alternatives, including budgetary considerations at both the town and county levels. And whereas the town board has determined that the recalibration of future assessing services will provide efficiency, customer services, and fiscal responsibility. And whereas the town board, subject to permissive referendum, wishes to transition the town of Plattsburgh to assessing services to Clinton County government on a contractual basis, and notices the transition to become effective October 1st of 2025. And whereas RPTL 1537 of the Real Property Tax Law authorizes municipalities with the power to assess real property to enter into an agreement with the county for appraisal services, assessment services, and exemption services, provided that the Assessing United has adopted a resolution subject to permissive referendum to enter such agreement. And whereas the town is an assessing unit as defined in the RPTL and a municipal corporation defined in Article 5G of the General Municipal Law, and whereas the Clinton County Real Property Tax Service Office has the ability to perform assessment service to the town, now therefore be it resolved by the town board that providing the 45-day permissive period following the adoption of the resolution has expired without the submission of a petition for referendum, that the supervisor is authorized to negotiate and sign an agreement with Clinton County and any related documents necessary to carry out the terms and conditions of the agreement. Be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized to place a notice in the Press Republican regarding this resolution, and that it is subject to permissive referendum. And it be further resolved that as a result of this transition, the town assessor position will be vacated on October 1st of 2025, and no reappointment will be made. And be it further resolved that the assessment control examiner position will be eliminated with the last day of employment being September 30th of 2025, coinciding with the transition to contractual services with the Clinton County. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be provided to the Clinton County Administrator and Town of Plattsburgh Business Office, and a copy placed in files of respective personnel.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert. Is there a second?
Second.
Isabella. Just want to make one very brief statement to say that this specifically has been part of a master recalibration that we've been talking about for quite some time, and want to thank Jim along with the county for the conversations that have occurred. We obviously still have some more actions before us, but you know, we are hitting the pace by which we had hoped to, and you know, the dates are reflective as far as what the transition will look like in the public building. discussion? Seeing none, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Michael Cashman,
Yes, this resolution does pass. Thank you. Resolution 289, resignation of Town Councilor Barbara Hebert from the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board.
resolved to receive and place on file a letter of resignation from Barbara E. Hebert, Town of Plattsburgh Town Board Counselor, effective of December 31st of 2024. It is further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh does hereby wish to thank Ms. Hebert for her service to the Town of Plattsburgh and wish her well in her future endeavors. And be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the Finance Manager and the Civil Service.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Isabella. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I would like to consider voting no due to the fact that she is the most prepared counselor. She has gotten into everything that needs to be investigated is investigated. She's been to every meeting that she's had to have and knows what's going on and checks with people ahead of time. I mean, an outstanding counselor. It would be very hard to leave her, let her go, so, you know, it's my position.
I will concur with Tom, and I'll add mentorship to that, because thank you for your time and attention with me
Absolutely.
as you mentored me in my first.
I would also like to add that, in addition to that, she just reeks of professionalism, and she's just a wonderful person, so.
Now, listen, there's one more meeting, so my favorite mantra is, you know, plan the work and work the plan. So one more week, let's go, let's do it.
You'll be greatly missed.
Thank you, Chuck.
And I'm gonna reserve my commentary because there's nothing like a verbal obit, and this is not one time.
There'll be no moment
You still have some work to do, counselor,
Yeah, no
so.
moment of silence, please,
YouTube video.
and to our town clerk.
All right, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Very reluctantly, yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Abstain.
Charles Costick,
Simply out of respect for Barb's decision, yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, resolution passes, but we look forward to having you back at the dais next week for our last meeting. All right, resolution 290, December 2024 budget amendment.
Whereas the town may need to amend the 2024 budget to reflect changes in revenues and expenditures during the year, and whereas the budget amendments will be offset from existing fund balance or additional revenues, therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh authorize the following budget amendment as attached, and be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert. Is there a second?
Second?
Costick. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 291, Douglas Boulevard dedication of road and utilities.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Planning Board has reviewed and approved the former Clinton County Airport Subdivision 2021, and whereas the former Clinton County Airport Subdivision 2021 has submitted a deed for conveyance of improvements to the town representing approximately 2,500 feet of new public road, right-of-way, road improvements, and related water, sanitary, sewer, street lighting, and storm drainage. And whereas the town superintendent of highways and buildings and grounds director and have conducted and or supervised on-site inspection of the constructed improvements and submitted letters recommending the acceptance and dedication of said improvements and new road extension. And whereas the applicant is required to prepare a final warranty deed to the town of Plattsburgh for the new road and other improvements constructed in the subdivision conveying approximately 2,500 feet of new road and associated utilities as identified on the map titled Former Clinton County Airport Subdivision 2021 and identified as Douglas Boulevard. And whereas the subdivider shall be required to place with the town a 1-year warranty deposit for the road and sewer utilities dedication in the amount of $25,000, whereas the applicant is required to provide a check to the town of Plattsburgh in the amount of $70,000 for the cost of type 6 top coat asphalt to be installed by the town highway department within 1 year following acceptance of said road, or by a date mutually agreed upon by the developer and the town highway superintendent. And whereas there is construction punch list of certain water and wastewater infrastructure improvements that remain to be finalized by the subdivider and their contractors. And whereas the town of Plattsburgh has agreed to dedicate Douglas Boulevard as a public highway and to provide additional time for Clinton County to complete said punch list of improvements pursuant to the agreement to complete post-road dedication conditions between the County of Clinton and Town of Plattsburgh. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby receives and place on file the town superintendent of highways, water and wastewater director, building and grounds director, letters recommending the acceptance and dedication of said improvements and new road extension. It is further resolved that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh does hereby, upon the final warranty deed being found acceptable to the town planning attorney, accept and dedicate 2,500 feet of Binder Top Road, identified as Douglas Boulevard, as a public town road, along with the associated water, wastewater, lighting, and stormwater infrastructure. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh does authorize the town planning attorney to review the said deed, and upon his review and acceptance, authorize the recording of the final warranty deed in the Clinton County Clerk's office, which conveys approximately 2,500 feet of new road with public water lines, sanitary sewer, street lights, storm drainage, and other related improvements as shown on the subdivision final plans of the former Clinton County Airport Subdivision 2021. And be it further resolved that the town board does hereby authorize the engineering of the said street lights, which are located in the general lighting district. And be it further resolved that the developer be required to place with the town a 1-year utilities warranty deposit for the road and water, wastewater utilities dedication in the amount of $25,000. Be it further resolved that the said 1-year wastewater utilities warranty deposit shall be refunded to the applicant upon inspection and approval by the town highway and water and wastewater departments after 1 year from the date of dedication. And be it further resolved that the subdivider shall provide a check to the town of Plattsburgh in the amount of $70,000 for the cost of type 6 top coat asphalt to be installed by the town highway department within 1 year following acceptance of said road, or by a date mutually agreed upon by the developer and highway superintendent. And be it further resolved that the final subdivision plat shall be filled with the Clinton County clerk, and a copy of the certified plat and file deeds shall be provided to the town planning and community development department.
Hold on. I think that's the last like long one of the year.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Isabella, is that Wood, is the second? I just want to provide a little additional context. We've been working on this for some time, but also the punch list, the additional punch list was identifying a number of things, but part of the reason was to be able to do this so that the CVES project can move forward, which is going to be built out in that corridor. And want to thank Jim for his work on this, working with Gary Favreau with the county. But I want to give a huge kudos to Trevor Cole for being able to make all the points of connection that really needed to occur for this. This is a significant step for that project to be able to move forward, and knowing that we were coming to a conclusion at the end of the year, there was a lot of stuff. So just
And
thank
Michael, collaborative connections.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
in a situation like this, it's collaborative outreach and
Yep.
facilitation, and he's very good at that.
Yep, so I mean, there was a lot of stuff that needed to occur with the county, the town, with council. You know, we stayed in contact along the way, but just as an example, and wanted to publicly thank him for that as well. Anything further? Seeing none, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, resolution does carry. I know no more active resolutions. Are there any committee reports that need to be given this evening?
Yeah, I have a few, Michael.
Sure.
Chuck, you can certainly chime in. We have a meeting right before this meeting with the ambulance committee, and it's good to check in with our providers, and I think Chuck and I have been trying to do that. The fact that we get, contracts done where they are done now is really important. So Chuck, if you want to say something about that, and I have a few other things.
No, I think it was a real good wrap-up. The EMS service in the county and especially in the town has been exceptionally busy. A significant increase in the number of calls that they've responded to. You know, one of the things that we're gonna work with them is an informational session of sorts in the spring for our board members and probably for the community as a whole. Get a couple of rigs up here so everybody can take a look at it and have an understanding of what the cost involved is and what they do and the amount of training involved for EMS. I think it's important that everybody understand because they're talking about an ambulance that they bought, 10 years ago that may have been 150 to 200,000 is now $350,000. So the cost of the equipment that they need to buy is just increased astronomically. So I think it's important that everybody have a good understanding.
And any unfunded mandate, and that happens to all industries, but in theirs in particular, we chatted about that, and training and resources. So we're very fortunate, as Chuck has said, to have two providers for our municipality.
Yeah, most municipalities have a tough time finding one.
Exactly. Just wanted to touch on, planning community development. Dana and I had our liaison meeting, so Trevor was very pleased to have participated in the finance manager interview. So thanks to both of you for that. I think his insight's important, and I know he enjoyed doing that. Some of the solar projects have expired. There's still some that are, one being permitted, and there's a couple that have been reapproved, so just kind of an update on that. What's interesting is the Hometown Hero banners, they decommissioned 26 banners. And those decommissioning of those banners is not just taking them down and rolling them up. It's, Michelle takes time, she lays them out, and she, diligently and very
Cleans
good dedication
them.
cleans them. And then they're presented back to the family. So
And,
there's
and
that.
I would just add that I had the opportunity to pick one up
Oh, you did?
for somebody and drop it off. And they were exceptionally pleased with the condition that was received in the letter that came with it. So they were very pleased that it wasn't just taken down and tossed someplace.
Yeah, I think that's the community development side of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so.
Phenomenal program.
Exactly. Our tax receiver, just a few things, some comparisons between 2023 for the collection for the school taxes. It looks like online, for 2024, things went up in terms of online payments. The mail went up a little bit in terms of mail coming in with those payments. And then the counter, 2023 was higher than the one for 2024. So 1,547 came in for 2023, 1,422. So just kind of looking at the options we have for how those are paid. Finally, on the town clerk side, moving towards getting the rules and regulations for the mausoleum, community mausoleum, up to date, hoping to push that for sometime in the first quarter of 2025. I won't be here, but I'm pushing for it to get pushed to January 2025. So thanks a lot, Keith. That's it.
Any other committee reports?
I'm just gonna say, I've been watching our recreation department on Facebook, and the fun that they're doing, from arts and crafts to walks for all levels, to our sports programs is, again, just amazing. I think throwing that arts and crafts part in, or cooking, but the one that stood out was just about a week ago or so. They had a very robust, holiday crafting evening, and I thought that was fabulous. Kudos to that team. They do a lot with 2 people. And Highway, we're continuing the salt pilot program. Last year it was the Tom Miller Road. This requires a lot of adjustment in the trucks and the drivers of how to do this, which will be less salt on the road, less sand on the roads. And they're expanding to a second run, and then hopefully to a third when a new truck comes in. And so really excited to see the impact of that when it comes to spring and what's on the sides of the road running into the water. And then finding out that it was news to them as well as to all of us that they were included in another grant for brine through Adirondack Action. So that's, we're looked at as really being forward-thinking with our salt program moving forward. So pretty exciting on that part. And I will concur, our planning department has been working really hard. Lots of projects, lots of things that are, not just the normal things, but bigger projects too. So, I think it's been a good year. B&G gave us a list of things that they've done for the year. It's pretty amazing in one year what this team, and I guess I wanted to publicly say a thank you to the town of Plattsburgh team for everything that every department has done and every person has done to make this a stellar municipality. I'm proud to be a resident of the town of Plattsburgh.
Any other committee reports? I want to share one quick little interesting note. Our director of water and wastewater was reached out to by a member of the state team that is helping a municipality that's going through a crisis right now with their water, because of his network and level of expertise. And it just, I think it speaks volumes that our members, when there's crisis and issues in other areas of the state, that our team is being looked at as just a person to kind of, scratch their head, kind of just, riff off, just kind of get a sense for, and we've already committed that, should things develop in other areas of the state, that we would, of course, help out if necessary. So, again, echoing what you said, Dana is, the entire team is just doing some really tremendous stuff. I know of the need to have the briefest of brief executive session regarding the work history of two specific individuals. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second? I'm going to give it to Wood. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Or roll call, sorry.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert.
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes. We'll enter executive session 6:22, no formal action, pretty brief.
What was it to discuss?
Work history of two specific
Thank
individuals.
you.